Just wanted to do another quick lunchtime video to pose kind of another question. Why is it that when black men have any type of grievance where they express their discontent or they express their um, disdain, their disappointment, why is it that black men are always hurt or weak or or this new word? I mean, maybe it ain't new, but I mean it's I've never been called it until I went through my comments the other night, called beta male, soft beta male, dusty beta males. Like, is that literally all the time that y'all females have, like, to sit up there and just say, I wonder what new name I could come up with to insult a black man, because instead of addressing his point of contention, I'd rather address the fact that he's not, to me, not very attractive or not very handsome or not very skinny or not in shape or whatever the case may be. So if you wonder why I changed my logo, someone commented on the why I will avoid black women from now on video. Dude said he told me to lay off the hamburgers. So I found that it was part of a meme I found online, and so I just decided I was going to use that for my, since I need to lay off the hamburgers. I just figure I'd put that up there. Um, you know, symbolic to me, anyways. But at the end of the day, a black man who says, you know what, I'm not happy, or I feel a certain type of way because of the state that I see black women in, and every female that doesn't like what I say, well, really, it ain't that they don't like what I say, it's that they don't like the way I titled my video. They don't even listen to the video, because most of the time in the video, never do I ever say it's all black women, and never ever do I say that a black man should never be with a black woman. I never say these things, but yet I get accused of saying these things. But that's besides the fact. But every time a black man gets an opportunity to express how he feels about situations going on in the black community and between black women and black men, when he expresses his disappointment or discouragement or just anything that is not pleasing to him, somehow now he's weak. If he says, well, I don't really like a woman that, wears a bunch of makeup and wears a bunch of weave and all this other stuff, all these women will come and attack this man on everything else but his point of contention. Now, you clearly can see that the single mother effect on people not being able to have a civilized debate, especially black folks, to be able to have a civilized debate without bringing somebody's looks into it or bringing somebody's body type into it. So I guess the question is, because I get some of these, like, I don't know if you'd call them hotep dudes, but these, I guess, pro-black dudes who try to say, well, you got to understand our people are sick in the mind or whatever. Well, yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying, dog. Like, I'm saying that there's a problem. But you have a problem with me saying there's a problem, but you're admitting to me in the comment that, yeah, there is a problem. I don't understand that. Like, it's almost like black folks want to walk around with shit on their face, but don't want nobody to tell them they got shit on their face. And then in a moment of honesty and maybe behind closed doors, they'll say, yeah, dog, I had shit on my face. Like, I mean, I don't get it. I don't understand it. And I don't understand why a black man such as me, whether you think I'm ugly as fuck, fat as fuck, need to lay off hamburgers, whatever the fuck you feel about me, all that shit is irrelevant compared to the points that I'm making. Because no one ever comes and addresses my points. All they want to do is insult me. So I guess throwing insults is why we don't get nowhere. Because every time there is a black man or a black woman, Sherazad Ali, who throughout the going back, because I didn't know nothing about her at the time I was growing up, because we was poor, so we didn't have access to TV like that. But Sherazad Ali, going back to all her old things, she was trying to say there was a problem back then, and they ran her off. So this is why shit never changes in the black community, because it's like the civilized blacks are scared of the niggas. And so when the niggas, they know niggas is bad for the community, but they know that there's more niggas than actual civilized black folks. So it's like a war that nobody really wants to invoke, because it's not going to end well for the civilized black folks. And the civilized black folks aren't out there being irresponsible with their penis and vagina. They're trying to raise a stable family, whether it's under the same roof or not, but they're trying to raise children properly. They're not out there trying to just have a bunch of children. And so, one, we are out procreated because we're trying to be responsible, while the government is paying for the irresponsibility of those niggas in our community that are destroying our community. That's why when I was having a conversation with one dude my god sister was dating, he said, I don't ever want to leave the hood, because when it go down, all we got is each other. And I'm like, yeah, if the hood had something. Like, the hood ain't got shit. The hood is just full of bunch of broke motherfuckers who want to smoke, drink, and fuck all day. That's all they want to do. They don't want to do anything. They don't want to build no community. They don't want to do shit. Look, I grew up in the hood, right? Right there on River Street in Troy, New York. Grew up there. When I grew up there, shit was like horrible. The basketball court was horrible. Motherfuckers kept cutting down the nets, all this kind of shit. Fast forward to, now, I don't live in Troy no more. And every now and again when I drive by where I used to play basketball for hours on end, it's completely different. They had a motherfucking Say No to Drugs mural. It was underneath a bridge. They had a Say No to Drugs mural underneath the bridge. It had Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and Magic Johnson on the mural. And one day I just happened to say I was just gonna go over and, for old time's sakes and play some basketball under there, throw some hoops, and the shit was completely different. They had changed the way the court ran. They put up a whole different mural. They had a phoenix coming out of fucking ashes. And I'm thinking to myself, like, wait a minute. I lived there for 20 plus years, and nobody in the community thought one fucking second to make that place better. When I was growing up playing ball there was a certain part that you didn't want your ball to go, because it was full of needles, full of used condoms, full of broken 40-ounce bottles, and just random dog shit. And nobody took the time to even think about, hey, let's better up the neighborhood. We live here. Why not have it smell decent? Why not have it look decent? So when they gentrified the area, kicked all of us out, now the shit is looking all nice now. So if I say all these issues, I talk about all these issues, and I'm going back to my original point where I said if I bring up a problem and I'm saying, hey, this is an issue, why can't we have a black utopia type neighborhood where people get up and go to work and there's role models and shit? Like, why can't we lean towards that or try to strive towards that? There's a problem. And especially if I say, well, I think that the problem is initiated through black women, because they are the keepers of life. They decide they are the security guards who decide who goes into the museum. So if they letting thugs and thieves and robbers into the museum, and the museum is being robbed and raped and drained of all its resources, who's to blame? It would be the security guard. So if all these dudes manage to get you knocked up and walk away, whose fault is that? But me saying that makes me an enemy, or makes me a target, or makes people want to call me fat this and fat that. But you're not addressing the point. You always want to blame someone else. You want to blame the man for doing it. Look, if someone lets me steal $20 from them, and now they broke and homeless, but they didn't have a problem when I was robbing them, I don't see how that's my fault. It doesn't make me a good person, I'll give you that, but that's not my fault. If they allowed me to rob, and they knew I was robbing, because typically that's how it goes down. They'll get with a dude who they know have children other places, and for whatever reason think that they are the exception to the rule, and that the rule will not apply to them. And that's what get black women in trouble. But if I say this, now I'm the enemy. I'm the villain. So, at the end of the day, because I speak how I feel, and I'm always speak how I feel, regardless of how motherfuckers want to take it, come to my page, do whatever, talk they shit, call me names, you never address my points. You never say, nah, I'm lying. Because you know you can go to any hood around this country and see the same exact shit. And that's the scary part. And I've been all over this country. I've been to Kansas City, Missouri. I've been to Tampa, Florida. I've been to Clearwater, Florida. I've been to Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I've been to New York City. I've been to Seattle. I've been to Boise, Idaho. I've been to Detroit, Detroit, Michigan. I've been all these places. Rochester, New York. Niagara Falls, New York. I've been all these places. Syracuse, New York. And wherever there's a heavy concentration of Negroes, there's a heavy concentration of dysfunction. Bell Park in Detroit. Me and my wife went there. We were dating at the time. We went there. Park was beautiful. Went there a few days later before we got ready to leave because we was visiting her uncle. And nothing but Negroes out there, and it was nothing but trash and garbage for miles and miles and miles. And it was windy, so all it is napkins just blowing around. One day it was a beautiful park when there was no Negroes around. Next day, full of Negroes, just disgusting. People blocking the roads. I mean, but nobody wants to talk about this. Nobody wants to be real and keep it 100. They just want to yell and scream and call me names. All right, cool. Have at it. But at the end of the day, you can't say I lied. Because when you look at it and you honestly be honest about it, you know that most of the dysfunctions are coming from niggas. Because civilized black folks, we're working too hard to be bothered with stupid shit like that. Just something to think about.